Good morning, boys and girls. I am very sorry that I'm not able to be with you for a live lesson today, but I have prepared this lesson for you, and I would love to see you give it your all. Watch the video, practice your techniques, do the best you can, and then upload it to Flipgrid. There's a link in Google Classroom. It'll bring you directly to where you can show me your artwork using Flipgrid. And I will be looking at every single one, and I can't wait to see what you do today. So give it your all, do your very best, even though I'm not with you, and I can't wait to see them later. Our learning goal today is I can identify and name a variety of 3D forms. So what is form? Well, form is a shape that takes up space. It becomes three-dimensional. You could hold it, you could walk around it, like this cube. If you think about a cube, it could be a dice, it could be a Rubik's Cube, it could be a number of things. It could be a tissue box. They're usually a rectangular prism, but here we have a cylinder. So we're going to take a look at some different types of form. Here are some cylinders in real life. So form is found all over the world. Here it is at a carnival. We have some cans. Your soup cans in your cupboard are cylinders. Think about what else might be a cylinder. And here's a pyramid. These are literally the pyramids of Egypt, the famous ones. But there are other pyramids in the world too. And here's a building that was built like a pyramid in more modern times. Can you think of any other pyramids that you've seen? The moon is a sphere. The Earth is a sphere. Most planets take on the shape of a sphere, whether they're made up of gas or rock. So you are going to need in front of you your art book and a pencil. Now I'm hoping you are paying attention to the different 3D forms because you're going to be opening up to these two pages. And on this page, it's your job to fill in the names of each form. So there are 4 different ones. See if you can remember their names and just sound it out if you're not sure how to spell them and write them on the line. I'm not going to do that page for you because I want you to do the work and fill it out. Our next learning goal is I can create a value change by applying pressure to a pencil. But what is value? Well, value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So if you're looking at this color blue, you'll see how it gets lighter as it goes to the left and darker as it goes to the right. This is called a value change. With blue, you can add white to make it lighter, but we're going to be using pencil today. It's a little bit different. You have to press harder and lighter in order to make the pencil darker or lighter. So here we go. You should now have your art book and your pencil ready. You've already filled out page number 1, the different types of forms. I hope you could remember those, and if not, you could look back in the video. And now you're going to have the page right next to it ready, and you're going to try shading some forms on your own. So here are the forms right here, the same ones we just talked about. Or similar anyway. The pyramid is a little bit different. This is a cone. But now we're going to use value and pressure in order to shade these different forms. So you can follow along with me. I'm going to start by drawing their shadow. So I'm taking a look at the picture on the left, and I'm trying to make it look like that the best I can. So I'm going to start with just shapes of each of their shadows. This is what their shadows would look like if there was a cube sitting in real life, if there was a cone sitting in real life, if there was a cylinder sitting in real life, and a sphere. So I'm just getting these shadow shapes down, and then I'm going to go back and fill them in by applying pressure with my pencil. So I'm taking a look at how dark my shadows should be. I'm trying to figure out what's the darkest area on each of these forms. And my shadows are mostly, on most of them, a little tiny bit lighter than the darkest area on the form. But they're still pretty dark. The shadows should be pretty dark. You should have to press pretty hard to make the shadow. This one is even darker than the other two, so I'm going to even press a little bit harder for the cylinder to make it as dark as I can. And it looks like it's a little bit darker than the others. And now for the last and final shadow. I'm gonna go start shading in my actual forms now. So on the right hand side of this cone, I want it to be the darkest, and then it gradually gets lighter as I move to the left. So I have to be careful with where and how I'm applying pressure with my pencil to make it really dark over on the right side, and then kind of lighten it up a little bit, sort of a medium tone in the middle. That's what I'm going to work on next. And then a really light tone or value over on the left side. I'm going to make a little bit more in the middle here to make it a more gradual value change. I don't want it abrupt. I don't want it to just go from dark immediately to light. I want it to be a gradual change. I'm pretty happy with that, so I think I'll move on to my cube next. This side looks like it's the darkest side, so I'm going to apply the most pressure over here on this edge to make it the darkest value. Now that I'm happy with this side, maybe a little darker, I'm going to next move on to my medium value, which is this side over here on the left. And I'm not going to press quite as hard as I did on the right hand side. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. And then the top, I think I can just leave alone. That's my lightest area. The light source is coming right down on there, so it's the brightest side. That looks like it matches pretty good, except I want to darken my shadow just a tiny bit. Now that I see the other values on my cube, it made me want to darken my shadow just a tiny bit more. So my cylinder also has that gradual value change. It's more rounded like the cone, but it does have some differences. It's not pointy at the top. So I'm going to leave my top alone, I think. And I'm going to try to make this look like it's getting lighter and lighter. I'm gonna start at the dark edge, go to the light side. Now I got it a little bit out of the line, so I'm just gonna erase. It's okay if that happens. You just erase it at the end. Go back in a little. Remember that you can always pause this video, you can rewind it, play it again if you need to see it again. This is different. This is a very curved object. It's a sphere. So my pencil is going to need to go in a curved direction while I'm trying to shade. It's a little bit trickier because I don't want to make a straight line. Straight lines are a little bit easier to draw than a curve. So make sure you're curving your pencil. You're going to have to move your hand around, maybe even turn your paper. Sometimes turning your paper is the best way to do it. So I've got my darkest area, and now I'm going to try lightening it up as I move along. And there you have your shaded objects. So nice job, everybody. What I really want you to do is go back to Google Classroom and click on the Flipgrid link and make me a video on Flipgrid showing me your finished work and telling me the names of the objects on the page on the left. Okay, I hope you had a lot of fun shading today and have a wonderful day. I'll see you next class.